Hi, welcome to your checkup. We are the patient education podcast where we bring conversations from the doctor's office to your ears. On this podcast, we try to bring medicine closer to its patients. I'm Ed Dulesky, a family medicine doctor in the Philadelphia area.
And I'm Nicole Rufo. I'm a nurse.
And we are so excited you were able to join us here again today. Before we get into the banter, I think I might want to try to actually capture what we're going to talk about today so people aren't left wondering what am I going to sit through these two knuckleheads talking about to get to what I actually came here for.
Okay.
What you came here for is you wanted to listen to us. You want to learn about who we are, what makes us tick, but also our teaching to you. We're going to do a 3-part series about the food pyramid, or the new food thing going on here from the USDA guidelines, which we're going to unpack. We're going to do a little historical perspective, what actually changed, and then an extra 3rd episode, which will be special. So that's what we're going to do. Right. That's what we're going to do. But before we get into that, let's do our little bit of banter section. You are a sleepy girl today.
I am.
Tell us about what has led to you being a little bit of a sleepy girl.
Well, I went to bed late on Friday because me and 2 of my friends went to New York for a little girls' night. We stayed over. We went to go see Whitney Levitt, our dear close personal friend, who is starring in the Broadway show Chicago. So we went to go see her, and it was really fun. We had a great dinner.
What type of cuisine was the dinner?
It was called Lee Munisa or something like that.
Okay.
In Midtown, kind of close to our hotel. And it was a Mexican place, but really elevated and fancy. And it was really good. Great.
Was there any of the items on the menu that really popped out to you that were memorable?
Well, actually, yeah, all of it was really good. The ceviche was really good. It was a shrimp and crab situation. And then whatever the short rib situation was really good. It was supposed to be a taco, but I think we were all just picking at it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. And then Chicago itself. Did you know anything about the plot?
No, I knew nothing about the plot until approximately 36 hours before. Because I'm not a musically theater girly, but it was fun. And then I figured out that the plot basically starts with the main character Roxy killing her husband and then going to trial and whatever. They sing songs about it. But you captured me at killing her husband. So it was great.
Oh, man. So I'm not nervous or anything. So
it was always so funny. We were talking about this actually because me and the 2 of them have their husbands and you, we were actually talking about how lucky we are that all of the husbands are just so great and you guys get along, and then when all of us are together we always end up separating and the girls hang out and the boys hang out, and then we kind of come together at some point. So we all have really wonderful husbands, but then at the same time we're yes, kill your husband.
Oh, well, if I'm not here next week, you know what happened, guys. So great. Saw Chicago.
Saw Whitney. That was fun.
Can you, where's Whitney from? When you...
Oh, Whitney is from Utah, and she's from the show on Hulu, I think, called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Which we watch.
Yeah, we watch, obviously.
Right.
And then she was also on this most recent season of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, she's all over the place, it seems.
And who was she dancing with? Was she with Mark?
Oh, that would be a really cool crossover.
I forget. I didn't.
True, but I don't really know.
I feel I watched the season, but on TikTok. You know.
Right. I only caught the hype at the end that was really bothersome with who won and stuff. But
yeah.
Before we get too far away from it, so it sounds like
would you hung out with a random TikToker? That was a fever dream portion of the evening.
Yeah. So what happened there?
There's this girl on TikTok named Elise Myers, and she has 8 million followers or something crazy. So probably more recognizable to the girlies because you didn't know who she was, and neither did Freddie or Chris.
Oh, good. I don't feel so bad now. I wanted to support you guys.
But we
oh my God, that's so cool.
We
But
ran
who?
into her when she was at the show by herself because she was like there and she like had something that night that got canceled or something because she doesn't live in New York. I guess she's like there part-time in New York and had something that night that got canceled. So then she like got a ticket to Chicago and came in whatever. And we like ran into her when we were walking like out of the show. And then she was like, well, what are you guys doing tonight? Like, do you want to go grab a drink? And then we like went to this bar and then she bought us drinks and she tipped the bartender $200. And then we sat down and hung out with her for like an hour.
Wow.
And it was so random.
Can you do the French fry thing?
The French fry thing?
Yeah. Can you explain the French fry thing? And the menu and the kitchen?
Oh.
Like the power of being famous.
Yeah. So this bar that we had, there was like a martini lounge or whatever. I don't know what they actually called it. This like martini lounge upstairs that was separate from the bar, had like a separate menu and everything. So we went up there because we wanted to sit down, and the whole like shtick of this martini lounge was that if you sit and you order something like a drink from the menu, then you get these fries for free, which were delicious, by the way. Mm. And so we went, and this was like probably like 11 o'clock when we got there. So the kitchen was closed. But I think our server, Alex, knew who Elise was because she like asked for fries and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like the kitchen's closed, da, da, da. And then that was that. And we were like, okay, like totally understandable, whatever. It's like 11 o'clock. We get the kitchen's closed. And then like 10 minutes later, he comes back with like 2 things of fries. Oh my God. And I'm pretty sure it's because he knew who she was. But yeah, worked out in our favor.
Pays to be famous.
A little snack after the show.
Right. And let's see. Your friends got a New York slice.
Yeah, they got a New York slice. I was full and feared I would have thrown up if I ate any more that night because we had a really big dinner. And then, yeah, I just wasn't hungry, but it smelled good. 2 brothers.
2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Oh, you didn't tell me the name of it before. Well, that's great.
And then we got, the next morning, we had to get bagels, obviously, because we were in New York. So they were really good. And then we stopped at this cute little bakery that we walked by. So I brought some croissants, or not croissants. What were they?
They were croissants.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were delicious.
Yeah. I got an almond one, which we love, and a pistachio one.
Which is goopy and delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Big fan. Very happy. Would you consider yourself like open to going to musicals now? Like if it was a whole experience? Or really this was centered around like your close personal friend, Whitney?
I mean, it was definitely centered around a close personal friend, Whitney. But like it was fun. I enjoyed the show.
Isn't it cool?
And like enjoyed everyone else. What was it called? The Ambassador Theater, I think. It was like a smaller, more intimate setting than I thought. It would be like the only like big show I've seen in New York was I went to the Rockettes one year around like Christmas time when they do their like Christmas spectacular. And that's like huge. It's at Radio City Music Hall.
Massive.
It's like, so that was like what I thought it would be. And like, she's like selling out shows every night. So I thought it was going to be huge. And like, I mean, it was like, but.
I'm still confused about how big this place is. Cause I think I saw a picture. So were you guys off to the side a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah. But we were like in the bottom, I think we were like 8 rows back or something.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys did that. Very happy. Ollie and I had a relaxed night here.
We had a boys' night.
We had a boys' night. I was like busy doing stuff up until like the end. And so it was very relaxed type of night. We were so happy to have you back, but we also loved that you came back with so many stories.
Yeah, it was fun.
You really did. You just started, I mean, we're going to not tell everyone every bit of the night, but you just started, chirping when you got back in the car. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Kristen said when she got in the car, Chris was like, you seem so energetic or something. Is that what he said? Or so lively?
So lively.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Your girlfriends are awesome. I love them. And
I kind of wish we went to Peloton, but I think that would be fun for you and I to do. And our hotel was cute too. I would stay there again. And it was kind of close. It was like in that part of the town.
Yeah.
The gigantic city.
I'm surprised that you were able to walk everywhere. Is
Yeah.
one takeaway.
I mean,
I
we
didn't
got a cab
anticipate.
from the restaurant to the theater. We could have probably walked there, but it was also like a little chilly.
And like a standard cab,
Mhm.
not like an Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah.
How did the payment go down?
There's like a card thing in the back.
Oh, is that how they do it these days?
Mhm.
Yeah. All the people listening in New York are like, this big dumb idiot. That's how you pay. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And then let's see. We were very happy with the ending, like how we finished out Traders. For anyone.
Oh yeah, we finished Traders.
Oh, well, hold on. We finished Traders. For anyone who is interested in not having some sort of spoiler, stop listening now and skip. Well, anyway, I'm probably just going to delete this section. And we...
Delete it?
What's that?
You're going to delete it?
Well, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't caught up yet.
Oh.
Yeah. So big update. Big update. The pile of snow is nearly gone, and it's March 1st on the time of recording at 3:20 p.m. And it looks like, in all likelihood, unless some crazy snowstorm comes up out of nowhere, it does appear like you're going to win.
It's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky right now.
Now, you said March 3rd. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You might exactly be right on the dot or one day beforehand.
Does this mean I get extra time on my foot massage?
No, it doesn't. An hour is already a really long time. And I did cut my finger, so you're going to have to wait until this heals up.
Yeah,
for
that
you
seems
to
like
get-
convenient timing. Because
Just in
out of the both of us, I'm the one who usually cuts a finger.
I was just in the shower preparing to delay this, and that's what I was doing.
God.
No. I actually did injure myself.
He's
But
fine, everyone. Don't worry. This is not like the man cold of 2026.
look, I'm still
The
coughing
man
a little
cut.
bit. What'd you say?
Said the man cut.
Man cut. All right. Well, that's all the update that I have. We hope everyone liked that extra episode last week. I think we're going to keep doing that. We've been seeking feedback from important stakeholders, and
Yeah, like Mike from his basement. Mike came in live from his basement this morning.
and our someone who actually does this type of thing for a living, our close personal friend Andre Robert Lee, who exclaimed that he loved that style of episode. So, to his credit, because he actually knows what he's doing, I think we're going to keep doing.
Yeah. No offense, Mike.
No, I deeply appreciate Mike's opinion. I do. Look, it meant a lot. He said he liked it too, but Andre Robert Lee, he gave it the thumbs up. So I'm in.
That's big.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to go check on my pile.
Your pile?
I have breaking news to report to interrupt the beginning of our podcast. It is Sunday, March 1st at 3:23 p.m. and the pile is melted.
No.
Our intern is celebrating. I really prevailed, even with the second snowstorm.
Even with the second snowstorm. There's so much happening here right now. The helicopter's gone. The intern is celebrating. The pile of snow is gone. I don't want to say that every pile of snow is gone, but the one that we declared that we would do, the important pile is gone.
Wow, what a great day.
What a great day for you. This was always how this was going to go anyway. All right, so why don't we get started? What are we going to talk about today, Nick?
Today, we're starting our 3-part series. 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
About the things that are happening with the new food guidelines and the food pyramid thing.
Yes. So recently, new federal dietary guidelines were released, and we were nonplussed at the time. And we were like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to talk about these at some point because your mother said, are you guys going to talk about that? And
what Mary wants, Mary gets, you know?
It took a little bit of time because I think this is actually more confusing than anyone ever let on. And we're definitely hoping to go deeper. So as they were released, as always, they've sparked some debate. Some people feel reassured. We've definitely seen some of that on social media. Some people feel confused. I am one of them. Some people feel frustrated, and others believe that they just simply reflect industry influence. So instead of reacting emotionally or politically, we're going to do what we always do here. We are going to slow down, we're going to look at the evidence, and we're going to examine the history, actually. And we are going to ask a deeper question. Who decides what we should eat and why? So I'll lead us off. The first segment here is, what are the dietary guidelines? So let's start with the basics. The dietary guidelines for Americans are issued jointly by two parties: the U.S. Department of Agriculture, that's the USDA, whenever you hear it abbreviated, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, which is woefully led by a nincompoop at this point. And they are updated every 5 years. They are not simply just suggestions. They're actually very important because they are the foundation for several different things, including this list: school lunch programs, military food standards, hospital and nursing facility menus, SNAP, which stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, WIC, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children, which is another food program, and federal nutrition education campaigns. This is key. They influence what millions of Americans eat, especially low-income families and children. So this isn't just about advice. This tends to directly impact policy. So that's why we're treading lightly here on this episode, because it's a little bit of a crossover with what we normally do. So this is the second segment. How did we get here? We're going to offer a brief history to you. The first official dietary guidelines were published in 1980, but their roots go back further to the 1977 Dietary Goals for the United States, which emphasized reducing fat and cholesterol to combat heart disease. This period was heavily influenced by research like that of Ansel Keys and the lipid hypothesis, the idea that saturated fat drives cardiovascular disease, which we still believe today. And this is where history becomes complicated. In the 1980s and 1990s, fat became the villain. Low fat became synonymous with healthy, and the food industry responded with low-fat products, often replacing fat with refined carbohydrates and added sugars. So in 1992, we'll speed up a little bit and going forward in time, the USDA released the iconic food guide pyramid, the one that colloquially we all know and love. Grains formed the base, if you remember, and fats were at the top, declared to use sparingly. Many critics at the time argue that this structure overemphasized refined grains, and others argue it was consistent with the evidence available at the time. And here we recognize that both perspectives can be true. Over time, we've learned that trans fats were recognized as harmful, and the role of added sugars became clearer in its negative way. And the science around dietary patterns has evolved. And slowly, even more slowly over time, the guidelines have shifted towards emphasizing whole foods, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and limiting added sugars and saturated fats. But in truth, the core architecture hasn't radically changed in decades. They're declaring this as some big change, but as we're going to talk about, it actually isn't so much of a change, and that's part of the current criticism. So then the next segment is, what are they actually for? This part is probably under-discussed. The guidelines are not meant to be cutting-edge, personalized nutrition advice. They are a population-level policy tool. They aim to reduce chronic disease risk among 330 million people, be achievable within federal budget constraints, and be usable in institutional food settings, which objectively is a very different goal than what is the absolute optimal diet for a motivated, health literate adult. So this is about public health, not optimization for one person. And that distinction really matters because I think people misinterpret this. We've done some reading online and we found various critiques from people who know much, much more about this than we do. And so there are several itemized themes that we've seen made and we wanted to put forward here. Despite people saying it's very different, this looks actually very similar to previous versions. The language is often very cautious and non-specific. They may reflect a lot of institutional inertia. And what we've also found is that the foreword to the actual dietary guidance is very politically charged and self-serving. If you've taken time, there's like a 10-page document meant for the average person to read, which was very obviously written by like dozens of different people because it's not very cohesive. And it basically declares that like the current leader of the free world is changing health for everyone and is making it so much better with these guidelines that look pretty much exactly the same as what they used to. So that we take a little bit of, it's a critique. It's exactly what it is. We think these items are thoughtful pieces of the critique, but it raises an important question. If nutrition science evolves, why don't the dietary guidelines change more dramatically? And here's a few possible explanations. The highest quality evidence in nutrition is very slow-moving and often observational. Policy bodies are conservative by design, and large shifts in these things require overwhelming consensus rather than shifts subtly one way or another. So in this next segment, we're going to talk about that this is way more than just recommendations about food. Are these influenced by industry? And usually this is where conversations get a little bit more heated. If you look at all of the stakeholders who are involved in this, the USDA has agricultural interests. The U.S. food system is obviously intertwined with economics. And food producers actively lobby for their interests. And these are just facts. The nuance, though, is that the guidelines are apparently drafted by an independent advisory committee of scientists who review the totality of evidence. And then the federal agencies translate those recommendations into policy language. So that doesn't mean that influence is impossible, but it also doesn't mean that the corruption is inevitable because policymaking is messy. Science is also imperfect in its measurement, and economics tends to be very real. And so while we should be skeptical, we also have to be evidence-based in our skepticism here. There are also certain socioeconomic realities that are important to recognize, and I think we would argue that this is the most important part of the conversation. So the guidelines assume that there's access to produce, time for meal preparation, stable housing, adequate kitchen equipment, and a consistent income. But look at the facts. Millions of Americans live in a food desert. Millions rely on SNAP. Many work multiple jobs. And affordability and accessibility shape dietary patterns way more than macronutrient debates. Telling someone to eat more fish and fresh vegetables is easy, but making that affordable in every zip code is much harder. And so the guidelines operate within this tension. They must recommend health-promoting patterns, but those patterns must be feasible in federally funded programs, and that is not a small constraint. These guidelines are less about nutrient minutiae and more about pattern consistency. And here's something that often gets lost. The biggest drivers of chronic disease in the U.S. are not subtle macronutrient debates. They are excess calories, ultra-processed foods, sugar-sweetened beverages, sedentary behavior, and a food environment. And in essence, these guidelines do reiterate that in a similar way to old ones have. And so in this little history forward that we're trying to give you to set up some context ahead of next week when we actually talk about what is in these guidelines, we'd like to recognize that the dietary guidelines are imperfect. They are very conservative, slow moving. There is a lot of political entanglement happening here. They are evidence-based at a population level, and they are not designed for individual fine-tuning. They are not also a personalized health plan or a rigid prescription for how people should eat. If you are metabolically healthy and want to experiment thoughtfully with dietary approaches, that is different than building a national policy for 330 million people. And so we should critique them. We can critique them, but we should do so with nuance and some context about what these things are actually built for. So like we were suggesting, in the next episode, we're going to break down what the new guidelines actually say, specifically around saturated fat, added sugar, protein, ultra-processed foods, and alcohol. And we'll examine whether the evidence truly supports these recommendations. And so if you've ever wondered, are these guidelines outdated? Are they influenced? Should I follow them? Stay with us in this series and we'll try to unpack that with you. Because understanding how nutrition policy is built may be just as important as understanding what's on your plate. So thank you for coming back to another episode of Your Checkup. Hopefully you were able to learn something for yourself, a loved one, or
a neighbor.
We hope that you come back next week for the next part of the mini-series, and we hope that you can share this with a loved one or a neighbor. But most importantly, stay healthy, my friends. Until next time, I'm Ed Dulesky.
I'm Nicole Rufo.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
This information may provide a brief overview of diagnosis, treatment, and medications. It's not exhaustive and is a tool to help you understand potential options about your health. It doesn't cover all details about conditions, treatments, or medications for a specific person. This is not medical advice or an attempt to substitute medical advice. You should contact a healthcare provider for personalized guidance based on your unique circumstances. We explicitly disclaim any liability relating to the information given or its use. This content doesn't endorse any treatments or medications for a specific patient. Always talk to your healthcare provider for a complete information tailored to you. In short, I'm not your doctor.
I am not your nurse.
And make sure you go get your own checkup with your own personal doctor.